would you go to a pharmaceutical rep to be
No.
diagnosed for free?
No.
Or would you pay money to
Yeah.
go to a doctor? People call
Gotcha.
structural engineers all the time. And the
Okay.
problem with structural engineers, they'll come out and they'll say, or they'll even write a letter and say, well, the house is not structurally deficient.
Ah,
Okay, well, we kind of knew it wasn't ready to fall down on us right now, but
yeah.
could it get worse? Oh yeah, it could get worse. Well,
Wow.
it's going to get worse if the soil moves. Well,
Yeah.
is the soil going to keep moving? Well, I don't know that. I'm a structural engineer. You have to contact a geotech
Yeah.
engineer.
Yeah.
And so you just wasted your money with the structural engineer. And some of
Yeah.
them might try to opine, but they can get in trouble
Mm.
for straying from their
Okay.
area of expertise by opining on something they're not an expert in. And
Gotcha.
so you might as well just go to the right guys. And as I mentioned, soils are really complicated.
Yeah.
Geotechnical engineers know the geology of an area. They know how the soil
Okay.
was laid down over history. They
Yes.
understand, that how soil moves and gets deposited, and all these things. And they do lots of drilling. And they know, okay, the layering of this area is kind of like this, and the layering of this area is kind of like that. And if anybody tries to say, oh, yeah, well, this house is all done moving, or, oh, no, it's going to keep moving. If they're not a geotechnical engineer, they're BSing you
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Now, if
they're
one
the
of
only
these
guys that know that.
if one of these special engineers come in, this forensic engineer, how long does it take them, do you think, on average, to assess, let's just say an average house? How long do you think it would take them? A day, 2 days, a week?
Well, I mean, it depends what their schedule is, but
Okay.
once they get on site, they could probably get it done in a week or two.
Okay, that's good. And because I'm trying to think, if homeowners are listening to us and they're thinking, well, what is this going to cost me? Because sometimes these homeowners are thinking, well, I only have this much money, but I want to get
Right,
it fixed correctly. And so they're
right.
trying to navigate that. So you think a week's worth,
Yeah.
what would you think a cost of a forensic
Well,
if you,
right now, most engineers are going to charge $3,000 or $4,000, which is,
okay,
I think, a little
that's
bit too
fair.
much for this. And the reason
Okay.
they charge so much is because they feel like they need to go to the house in person and look at it, which, if they're going to put their seal on it, they be comfortable, they do that. What I'm trying to do is provide engineers, certified technicians, and a software system that allows technicians to, at a much lower rate, go and
Okay.
gather all the data and have the engineer feel comfortable with it so that
Ah,
he can utilize it and be able to provide a good report to
mm,
the homeowner for under $1,000, let's say, okay, which can be
wow.
done. Now,
Wow.
now here's the problem. Here's the
Hmm.
problem. Foundation repair contractors, well, they're going to come out and do it for free.
Yeah.
So you have to make the argument that, yeah, you want to spend $1,000 up front. I don't
Yeah.
know, But
Yeah.
here's the thing. Let me just put it to you this way. Let's suppose you go to the doctor
Yeah.
and you say, "Hey doc, I got this problem with my ear right here. It really hurts." And the doctor says, "Here, take these yellow pills." And then you
Yeah.
come back 6 months later and you go, "Oh doc, yeah, I got an ache in my stomach right here, And he says, "Here, take these yellow pills." And you're like,
Yeah.
"What? Come
Yeah.
on. How can that be right?" And then the doctor turns around and he's typing on the computer on the back of his lab coat. It says Acme Drug Company.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you realize, oh, that wasn't really a doctor. That was a pharmaceutical rep. Well, I mean,
Makes sense.
think about it. Would
Yeah.
would you go to a pharmaceutical rep to be
No.
diagnosed for free?
No.
Or would you pay money to
Yeah.
go to a doctor? And that's the way
So
you need to look at this with your
yep.
house.